Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe in Lagos.
In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. Cecilia, it's Friday. So yes. Thank God it's Friday. And you know, Fridays we have an opportunity to talk boxing on the show, and we will do just that tonight. We'll also talk about the CAF Confederation Cup. Rivers United are now in the group stage. You know, their opponents. We'll analyze it big time on the show tonight. I'm sure the Nigeria Professional Football League is also on the menu. Football developments in Nigeria. So much going on in our world of sports, not forgetting the English Premier League. Yes. I'm ready for all of it tonight, Cecilia.
The loaded package tonight. And of course, we're starting with boxing. Austin, as you mentioned, a whole lot going on in London with Nigerian boxers doing the nation proud. Yes, yeah, British born in the UK. But hey, they rep Nigeria, so we have to celebrate them. And of course, on this show, that big fight that is coming up October 21st, we'll be dissecting that because the boxing promoter expert will be joining us on the program. Of course, NWFL will get our attention because we are going to be reeling out the match day one fixtures. It's still November 15th, but teams already preparing, ready to go. And a team like Benin Insurance that were not in action when NPFL started, they will be in action on Saturday. Of course, they will be facing Shooting Stars. Shooting Stars winning their opening game against Plateau United. What a way to start. And of course, the rivalry, Ghana-Nigeria, will continue in the CAF Confederation Cup. So much to talk about on the show tonight. And Austin, what's going to be happening on Sunday? Yeah, Sunday, Saturday, Arsenal and Manchester City. That's also another big one. But we'll not be doing all the talking alone tonight. We have Chiwendo. He's on the show tonight. He'll be joining us to talk more about this. And of course, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. As under Friday, from the football angle, this is the last this is the last weekend before the international break. Before we go for international break, so a lot of teams would like to have some points in their kitty. So it's good to be here so we can discuss it all.
Yeah, so much about this. But Austin, we talked about the fact that, yes, we're going to delve into boxing at first. That's where we will go to first because the British-Nigerian boxer, Dan Aziz, of course, he will is getting ready for that final eliminator fight tagged the takeover against, of course, Ghanaian Joshua Buatsi. I mean, it is for that WBA light heavyweight world title scheduled for October 21st. O2 Arena, that's where it will be taking place. And I know you were right there, when the training that was open to fans, the open training they had, you were right there. So, I mean, there's so much on this one. What's at stake, really?
A lot, and Cecilia, just to put into context that it's also another Nigeria versus Ghana contest because Joshua Buatsi has got a Ghanaian heritage, and that's Dan Aziz right there. Not just using his boxing to, put himself out there, but he's always passing a positive message. So he's telling people lives, not knives, and I'd like to, understand where he's going with that message because someone who has been in the streets and boxing gave him, a good life. He's trying to also use that, to be an ambassador of the sport. I'm so proud of Dan Aziz. I've watched him fight, and at this media open training session, you could see another Nigerian boxing ambassador, Larry Ekundayo. That's him right there, training Dan Aziz. These guys love their fatherland. They always take an opportunity to represent Nigeria. You heard the interview where he was saying that, we laugh over the jollof rice, which is better, is it Ghana or Nigeria? But that with boxing now will settle the scores. There's someone who is always promoting boxing in Africa, particularly when it has to do with Nigeria. So I will let him do the conversation, have that conversation with us. Ben Gray is a boxing promoter. He was right there in Croydon when this happened, and he's in London here with me. So let's welcome Ben Gray to the show tonight. Good evening, Ben. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
Good evening, Austin. Great to be with you.
Awesome. Ben Gray, a.k.a. Bolu. Don't forget, that's the name we gave him because of the love he's got for Nigeria. Ben, I see this is a big one. Joshua Buatsi is ranked world #1 in that division, going against world #2, Dan Aziz. And Dan Aziz, we all know his quality, and he says he's pumped up for this one. But how tricky, how much of a difficult fight is this for Dan Aziz on October the 21st?
Well, it doesn't get much bigger than this, Austin. It's huge. For the loser, there's a long way back. The winner will get a world title shot against Dimitri Bivol for the WBA light heavyweight title. So the stakes couldn't be any higher. It's Nigeria versus Ghana, and they're great rivals. They're actually great friends outside of the ring, but they'll be ferocious rivals in the ring.
That's right. And I see Larry Kundayo. That's some huge inspiration for Dan Aziz, right?
Yeah, they're great friends. And Larry has got a great talent for boxing, but equally great talent for training. So he'll be working alongside Dan's trainer, and between the two of them, they'll come up with a game plan to win this fight, I'm hoping.
Awesome. Before I go to Cecilia, let's talk about the face-off. The video will come up now. I saw fire right there in the eyes of Buatsi, and he's not talking much about this fight. But Dan Aziz, as you mentioned, also reiterated that he knows him so well, that he's a good fighter, but that he's not taking anything, to book. So I just look at this fight and I'm saying, what can Dan do to actually stun this Ghanaian boxer?
Well, I mean, they're both credit to themselves. They're both university graduates and, as I say, great friends outside of the ring. Buatsi has been a bronze medalist at the Olympics and has got the pedigree, but Dan's done it the hard way, come up British title, European title. They're both undefeated. And Dan, who is a great Marvin Hagler fan, will, I think, have the... he's definitely an outsider on this fight. Buatsi's the favourite, but I think he might have enough to nick this late on or down the stretch on points. But it's going to be a close fight. It'll be a great event. And we should all get behind the fighters and celebrate this, essentially an African fight here in London.
Yeah,
awesome. I'll pass it over to Cecilia now.
Right, interesting to note, because you have two Africans, fighting an all-British fight. That's how it's tagged, all British fight lightweight championship. And of course, what's really at stake for these boxers, anyone that gets to win the title, because we've seen that, as you mentioned, Dan Aziz, he hasn't lost a fight because he's won the British title. He has held the British title since 2021, and not just that, Commonwealth title since 2022, European title you mentioned earlier in March this year. So that's huge, big for him. And if he's able to win the fight, what's next for him?
Well, if he wins the fight, or whoever wins the fight, they will be fighting for the world title at some point, the WBA light heavyweight championship. The current holder is a very good fighter, Dimitri Bivol, who beat Canelo Alvarez. So, it's a big task. They've both got to focus on this fight and may the best man win. We're working hard to make sure that we can show this actually to the entire African audience. So hopefully you guys will be able to cheer Dan on at home on the 21st.
Yeah, that's where my next question is actually going to, because having these Africans are fighting on British soil, fighting as British boxers, the crowd over there, the fans, the anticipation, how great is it for boxing lovers in the UK?
Well, everyone's really excited about this fight. This is a great, what they call a trade fight, but it's actually caught the imaginations because it's a 50-50 fight. It really is a quality matchup. And both these guys are an absolute credit to themselves. They really are. Sky Sports and Boxer are promoting this, so it's absolutely top notch. It's at the O2 Arena. You can't get much bigger than that. And it's these two guys who hail from Africa, and both are very proud of their African heritage, headlining.
Yeah. There's another. Okay, Austin. All right.
Oh, no, I'll let you land, Cecilia.
Now, I was going to talk about the undercard, on this fight too. Talking about another Nigerian, also Lawal, also fighting a boxer from Democratic Republic of Congo. So it's more like an African thing happening right there, to Arena 21st of October.
You're absolutely right. And this is what I always say. Africa has the talent to rule the world in boxing. And this is what we're trying to do. We're going to, we really want to make sure that people on the continent can see their guys fight and win. And it's DRC versus Nigeria on the undercard. Mikhail Lawal, who was born in Nigeria, moved to the UK. I'm a big fan of his. He's got tremendous punching power, KO power. He actually wasn't at the workout this week, and a lot of people were wondering why. I know the reason, can't say why, but it's all good. And it's going to be another 50-50 fight against Isaac Chamberlain, who hails from the DRC.
That's going to be a very interesting fight. Well, I call it a fight before the main fight, because Mikel Lawal, as you said, comes with a lot of prospects. Same with Isaac Chamberlain. That one should really get us talking. But let's switch it a bit from light heavyweight to the real heavyweight boxing, And these days, you can't talk heavyweight boxing without mentioning Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, and recently Francis Ngannou found a way to put himself into the mix. I don't know what you make about that fight between Fury and Francis Ngannou, but let's talk about Saudi Arabia and their operations. And I know you've been involved with that boxing business going on in Saudi Arabia. Why is it a new destination now for international boxing?
Well, they recognise that outside of soccer, boxing's probably the most played or watched international sport. And there's nothing, they would say that boxing is a sport that all other sports aspire to be. And I think the Saudi Arabians are very smart people. They realise the power of sport, and in particular boxing.
Wow, nice. Fury Ngannou, is this just an exhibition bout for you?
For me, I think it is an exhibition bout. They're saying that he hits really hard. I personally don't think he hits harder than Deontay Wilder. But I think actually it's a really good crossover fight, and it attracts fans from both sports, and it's a great way of interacting with a large audience. But I would be very surprised if it's anything other than a Tyson Fury win.
Yeah, me too. Before we go, last week we got a big announcement that we're going to have Fury and Usyk. I know a lot of boxing followers are excited about that announcement, but I'm not, because we need to see a date. We need to be sure that fight will happen. How did you take that announcement, Ben?
Well, having worked with the Saudi Arabians, I know how serious they are. So I wouldn't worry if there's no date yet. I wouldn't worry if anything. If they want it, they'll get it. So I expect it to happen. If they're talking about the 23rd of December, I think it's probably more likely in the new year. And it depends whether Tyson Fury comes through the Ngannou fight without any injuries. He could bust his knuckle. He could, he could get hurt himself in that fight. So once that fight's out of the way, they'll schedule a date. But if the Saudi Arabians want to make it happen, they will make it happen. Trust me.
That's what I'm talking about, Ben, because just one punch from Ngannou and can turn things around. And then Fury will say, give me 3 months or 4 months to get over this defeat and all of that. Well, I agree with you. I'll take your words that Saudi Arabia wants the fight and it's going to happen. Thank you so much, Ben Gray, for your time on the show. And we'll look forward to October the 23rd, and I hope to see you at the O2 Arena. Thank you.
You will be there. We'll make sure you're there.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Ben Gray, a.k.a. Bolu, boxing promoter, loves Nigeria so much and has been promoting Nigerian boxers. Cecilia, I don't know about you and Ikenna. I'd love to see Fury Ngannou, but I think the big fight is Fury Usyk, and they should give us a date.
Yeah, there's a build-up because I've tagged the boxing or exhibition bout. I don't know how to describe it because you're having a former UFC champion and of course a real boxer, fighting in Saudi Arabia. So it's more like a mismatch. Maybe it's just a build-up to create the hype, the money, everything ahead of the big one, which is Usyk and of course Tyson Fury. That's what everyone wants to see. But as you mentioned, no date, no venue, nothing yet. So we're anticipating and waiting to see when the formal announcement will be made. And of course, the clause that is in it, they won't have a rematch immediately. They'll have to play someone, that IBF IBA will give them before they'll have that rematch and everything. So the whole clauses and everything is still undergoing, so many technicalities and all before we know if it's going to hold. But I don't know about Ikenna, if maybe it's a fight that is anticipating or it's just...
but I think they were looking at December. Yeah. Having it in December.
Yeah.
And someone mentioned, I think it was Usyk that mentioned that it doesn't understand how somebody will recover from a fight in October and fighting. So the 2 months
it's 2024.
Yeah. So, but now I think it's a fight everyone is looking forward to, because we don't have, at a point, all we wanted was a Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and the trilogy. It never happened. Yeah. So we hope that this one happens and we see a real heavyweight title bout. Once we've not seen in a long while.
Because we're tired. Tyson Fury hasn't lost since he made his debut in 2008. So he's been there, a top level boxer, undefeated. So we'll see if maybe Usyk will be the one to take him out in 2024. Anticipation is actually high. All right, let's leave boxing and come home. We start from Lagos, where the athlete who went for the National Youth Games in Asaba, Delta State, Lagos State Sports Commission received these athletes. Of course, Lagos finished second. I think that's for the fourth time now. Lagos playing second. I think this is the fourth. Yeah, for the fourth time consecutively, they are playing second fiddle to Delta State. You have 300 athletes competed in 33 individual and team sport events during that 10-day tournament in Asaba, and of course, they came home with 62 medals, comprising of you have 21 gold, 19 silver, and a 21 bronze medal. And because of that, the executive chairman of Lagos State Sports Commission, Shola Ikpeko, has been talking about what the sports ministry should do to ensure that you have this categorization whereby you don't have some very big athletes. We watch some games where you have athletes, maybe a 15-year-old against 8-year-old. You wanted to let them categorize it, and then you have athletes competing at a particular age, maybe classes, schools, and everything.
Under 10, under 13, under 15.
Yeah. But what we have now, we just have youth games. I think the age is from 15 down. So he wants that categorization so they'll be able to
compete with their mates and
something like that. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's hear from him, and then we'll talk about this.
International grouping or way of grouping under age or age group competitions. Why is Nigeria's own different? Why do we have under 15 when all over the world is either under 17 or under 16? What is our educational barrier for age range for schools? So we have I think we do the 6-3-3-4 system now. So at a certain age you are meant to be X, at a certain age you're meant to be here, blah blah blah. So but more importantly, why is our age grouping different? So what happens is after a child turns 15, what next? So between the ages of 14 and 19, 20, there's a lacuna, big gap. That is where you lose athletes. We must create competitions and platforms for that age group between 15 and 18 or 19, where you're supposed to be a senior, rather than just leaving it blank. We will keep losing athletes. There's a particular range of loss of talented youth. You don't all over the world. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. Of talents you lose from at the youth level to when they get to senior is less. Let me use football for example. Do you know that less than 2.5%, less than 2.5% of the talents you find in football at youth level actually make it to senior level. So, and that's the biggest sport in the world. So equate that. Let's equate that alone to all the other sports. So you can see how many talents we lose. So something has to be done.
Something needs to be done. That's the message he's trying to pass across. And I also want to jump in on this one. It's a whole lot he's talking about concerning you can't just have under 15. Let's have maybe, is it secondary school or primary school, the age where it stopped, because I really don't know. We just know that the athlete shouldn't be more than 15 years old. It's something, that's what they're trying to do. So you want something different that everyone can identify with. What do you think?
I think Shola Ikpeko has really been realistic with developing sports at the age grade level, at the grassroots. Remember, it was the same person during the National Youth Games. I was saying, you just can't gather people and come to the National Youth Games. Let us have regional games first, get these athletes ready, and then you get on to the youth games. He's talking about processes, and that's why most times we start looking for that name. Where's that? This person did so well at the National Sports Festival 3 years ago. Where's the person? Because we're not following the step-by-step process. And I'm glad that he is the chairman of the Lagos State Sports Commission. Lagos can actually lead the way. Yeah. We know Lagos is talented. Shola Ikpeko comes with so much practical experience, and this is someone that I know if he's given the free will, he will do a lot of and bring a lot of positive changes. So it's trying to say How about we do under 10, under 12, under 13, under 15? Don't just jump up and say under 15 and everybody thinks that, oh, that's the way to go, and then you move to the next one. So I totally understand where it's coming from. I just hope that we'll start respecting processes at the grassroots and start doing the right things. Post tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, I know Cecilia is ready to play some chess, and Ikena Obichikwendu cannot wait to talk about Rivers United in the CAF Confederation Cup. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at what's going on in our world of sports. Channels Television, we've been covering the National Chess Championship. And for us, that's a good way to contribute to the development of chess in Nigeria. So let's let you see this report that we've put together. So that's what's going on at the chess championship. And then we'll get Cecilia and Ikena to talk about it.
The Elite Invitational event takes center stage at the Nigeria Chess Championships in Lagos. 12 players in both the male and female category slug it out for the ultimate prize.
Yes, we've expanded the number of players in the invitational category from 20 to 24. And then we have quite a number of juniors also playing, which makes the field more competitive this year.
For this year, we had to track the qualifying process. And that was able to make us see young talents, coming out from those ranks. It wasn't like that before. And to be honest, tracking this process has really paid off, because the aim is to get young people, get up the ranks, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
Chess lovers also took time out to watch the Masters' trade moves as they seek to outmaneuver themselves in the open category.
We have a good turnout this year. We're happy that the event is gaining ground. It's considered the elite event in Nigerian chess at the moment, a top flight. A lot of people want to play in it. Aside from the invitational, there's an open section which is open to everybody, and people are turning up. It's just been encouraging. Chess has evolved. It's evolving, and when we get to where we wanted to get to, everybody in Nigeria will be playing chess.
The tournament has grown in recent years.
Beyond just the sponsors and supporters, even the communication, setting the rules, the technical aspects, learning from the past mistakes, making sure that the entire organization, the online versions, registrations and all that, all the communications, everything is in place.
All in all, the players that are participating in the championship, you can't place your money on this individual that is the one that will win outright. And that's a good thing for Nigerian chess.
Organizers say more support is needed as the Nigeria Chess Federation seeks to grow the game in the country.
From an organizer's perspective, we've been very satisfied. The only should I say slight, the only part of improvement we'd like to see is maybe more sponsors coming in next year to make our lives a lot easier. I mean, when you have money, you can do a lot and make it a grander spectacle.
No doubt competitions like this will break barriers and help develop the game of chess in Nigeria.
I totally agree. This sort of competition can help in breaking the barriers that is hindering the development of chess in Nigeria. You listen to one of the facilitators saying, this is what we need to do to develop chess in Nigeria. The National Chess Championship, Ikena, what they are doing, is it a step in the right direction?
Of course it is. It is, because we need such initiatives to bring out people and also, discover talent that are maybe wandering around the street. So I was here 2 weeks ago when he came around. He spoke about it and spoke so much, seeking for help, seeking for more sponsorship. And for what it's worth, Channels is backing him up and some other people. So I think it's actually worth it, if you ask me, because he's also collaborating with other organizers in other chess competitions, like what's it called, chess in slums. So he's also interacting with them. He's also so it's an opportunity for us to discover talents, to also ensure that these people that play this game have enough competition before they go out to the outside world. They have a lot of things to show. They have to play against each other, and we know who is actually a champion in Nigeria. So I think it's wonderful. It's a good initiative, and I think if they get more sponsorship, if they get more backing, it can go on for years to come.
Yeah, and we love how competitive it's becoming. You know, he mentioned that it's becoming more competitive. If you look at the female category, for instance, I mean, you're having two athletes actually leading. One was at the Youth Games, Deborah Quickpen. I mean, she's leading another female, Ebimola Ere. Both of them are tied on 5 points. And of course, after 3 days and 6 rounds, they are tied on 5 points. So that shows how competitive that particular one is. And if you go to other category on the 20, on the 10, and all of them, the same thing, all the athletes competing to see who will emerge champions at the end of the day. Of course, we'll keep monitoring it. And the final, when the final is done, we'll have all our winners. And then you know who are the champions for this year. All right, let's leave chairs and quickly go to NPFL. We'll talk about match day 2. Nigerian Premier League started just last week, and only 2 teams were not in action. Of course, they were busy on the continent, talking about Ben Insurance and Rivers United. But there you have all of them now, so you're going to be having all the games that will be live. Let's start off with Saturday's fixtures. Now, this is a derby. Kano Pillars and Katsina United, they will be in action. Ben Insurance and Shooting Stars will be in action. Ben Insurance will be playing their first game at home. Doma United and Bayelsa United will also be in action. These are the Saturday's fixtures. Let's look at the games for Sunday. All of them will be live. Remember, NPFL, they're streaming all their games live now. Kwara United and Abia Warriors will be in action. Remo Stars and Rangers International also playing. Aqua United and Sporting Lagos will be in action. Gombe and Enyimba International will be in action. And Plateau United, who lost their opening game to Shooting Stars, will be up against Heartland, who got a draw away from home. A draw at home. They will have to travel to Jos for this one. Lobby Stars and Sunshine Stars will complete the fixtures for match day 2 of Nigeria Premier Football League. So, Austin, of course, we'll start up with you here. I mean, the game that you're anticipating, looking forward to, is it the Shooting Stars, Ben Insurance game, or Kano Pillars and Katsina United? Because these teams, the rivalry is huge.
Katsina United game, would love to see what the NPFL will be doing differently, because that fixture always gets us talking, and sometimes it doesn't end well because of fans clashing and all of that. But I'm sure we're going to see some good football. Bendel Insurance, Shooting Stars should definitely get us talking too. They were both in the same group last season, their bridge season. And I think we saw good football, particularly the game in Ibadan, and they're 2-2 if I'm getting it right. Yeah, so that will definitely get us talking. Look, this is match day 2 of the NPFL, so you would expect teams that didn't do well on match day 1 that are now playing at home to bounce back with wins. Aqua United, one of them, for instance, need to see how they can get their season back. I thought Rangers did good to keep Doma United quiet and shut, because last season Ikena was frowning at this stage because Doma United stunned them, so it's the NPFL. I don't really want to talk about it from match day 1 to 10. From match day 10, then we'll start seeing teams that really want to do well. But I like the fact that we're playing league football now. It's on television. It's attracting a lot of investors. It's getting the media talking, and I hope that we just improve.
Yeah, so Ekena, which game will you really be looking forward to? I mean, when you want to talk about games that you're looking forward to.
Remo Stars, Rangers International.
Remo Stars, Rangers. Rangers started well.
Yeah, Rangers started well. New management, new coach, a lot of new shirt sponsorship. So there's a lot of positivity in the team. Remo Stars, we know, is the shining light when it comes to private-owned teams in Nigeria. They own their own stadium, they have their own stadium, and a lot of things. They play good football. We watch them on the Super 8, we watch them during the regular season. So it's going to be one of those games that you really need to, and that will be their life. I'll watch the game live. So and another one I'm looking forward to is Aqua United and Sporting Lagos. So we in Lagos, we want to know if Sporting Lagos are good travelers. Okay. They are going to play the big boys. They are not playing in the big league. So they're going to play the big boys in Aqua United. Aqua United scored 3 goals away from home. They lost. But I think it is a measure of what they can do. Yeah. So imagine what they will do when they are comfortable in their home and everything. So Sporting Lagos is like what they say, a baptism of fire. for them in Uyo.
So the game they played on Monday wasn't anything to go by.
Well, no disrespect to Gombe United, but I don't think they're heavy hitters.
Okay.
So when you come to United haven't won any title, but when you come to a Nigerian league, you know Aqua United, they are the top dogs. Okay. So playing them away from home in Uyo is going to be a very tough task.
So a draw is going to be more like a win for them.
Oh, beautiful! Everybody will celebrate it in Lagos, and I think for what it's worth, being champion of the Super 8, people will want to see what they are actually going to do
when they can offer.
Yes, exactly.
That's what we'll be waiting for. All right, let's quickly go to the CAF Confederation Cup. Yes, we have just one team there, just one, which is Rivers United. They have the fixtures for the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup. USMA, Future FC, Supersport United, and Al Hilal. They're all in Group A. Supersport in trouble. Zamalek, Sagrada, Soa, and Abu Salim all in Group B. Let's flip over to Group C, where we have Rivers United against Club Africain of Tunisia, Dreams FC, of course, Ghana, EPC, Lebitu. These are the teams here. In Group D, RS Pekin, who took out Ben Insurance, Diabos Noah also there, Stade Malian, and of course, Sukohune. These teams actually making its debut in a competition like this. So there you have the group. Now we're going to dissect the main one that actually concerns us, which happens to be the Rivers United group that has Club Africain. Club Africain, I think when was the last time? I'm trying to remember the last time they won, this particular competition. It's been a long time. But would you say it's a tough group? Or
no.
It's just something. It's not. No. It's something they can get out of. But you have a Ghanaian side there.
Yeah, Dreams FC, and an Angolan side.
Angolan side, yeah.
Club Africain, they're not in a good shape at the moment. Financially, club-wise, we are at a point they were going into administration. At a point, they had to. I think it was fundraising and stuff they did to save themselves. So they're not in a good shape.
It's 1991. I think that was when they were crowned champions.
Champions, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Dreams FC new to the stage. APC Lubito also new to the stage. Yeah, so they're not the Petra Luanda we are used to. So I think Rivers United can actually top this group, and when you top the group, you are now comfortable. You can meet the second team from the other group. So I think they have the ability of topping this group. But for once, we want to see that. We don't want to see our team stumbling into the quarterfinal stage, and so let them. Yeah, I mean, at the point the fans had to leave the stadium. They were
the fans were leaving. Yeah, they were leaving.
So it was like it was an embarrassing this. So and that's the playing, that's the qualifying stage. So I think they should get their ass. They have the players. They have the management. I think they're not financially stable. Because they're one of those things in Nigeria that are financially stable. So they should organize themselves, win all their home matches, get your 9 points. Then anything that happens away from home, which we expect, at least from Dreams FC, I'm not disrespecting them, but at least, at least you are very. This is the third or fourth time Rivers United is playing Continental back to back. So they should be able to top this group, if you ask me.
Okay, let's see if they can actually do that. Austin, I mean, because of what happened against Etoile Filante, people are really not confident that Rivers United can, give something to Nigerians to cheer. But you were playing against 10 players, and of course you got 2 penalties. You had to take it to almost 9 minutes. People. High blood pressure everywhere. I remember Deputy Governor of Rivers State was actually watching. I don't know what was going through her mind, why she was watching that game. But at the end of the day, of course, they're into the group stage. Results, that's what matters, not how you achieve it.
Sometimes how you achieve it matters too, particularly when you have an advantage to go out there and play good football and not leaving it so late, because if you do that, it can turn around, and hurt you, So in that sort of match, for instance, after losing 2 penalties, just imagine if Filante had gotten just 1 chance and then go ahead to score. We'll be saying a different analysis now. That's what happened with Aimba. They had a chance to just kill it off, went away, scored goals, and didn't just do it. Even to an extent, Remo Stars also. When you have an opportunity to win and when you are favorites, particularly when the odds favor you, you must just take it. So I really do pray that Rivers United, they've learned their lessons. This is a project. And when you go into the next phase, lessons learned is very, very important. Now they are going to be meeting Club Africain. Ikena just talked about it, that Club Africain hasn't been so fantastic. And it's true. They played an Ethiopian club, I think it's Bari Kanemi for the preliminary round. They lost the first leg 2-0.
Yeah.
It was the second leg at home that they won 3-0 to be at this stage. They are really struggling. Dreams FC, new to it. And of course, APC Lobito of Angola. So you just expect Rivers United to do their homework. I know we struggle against the North African sides, but take advantage of what's happening with Club Africain now. Try not to lose away and beat them properly at home. And then the other small teams, show supremacy because you're as good as your last game. And that's what your next opponent will go and take a look at. It will either motivate them or put fears in them. So win in a way that will put fears in your next opponent. So best of luck to Rivers United. I really wanted to see 2 Nigerian teams at this stage, but we'll have one. We'll take it and we'll hope that they go all the way.
That's what happens when you're drawn against defending champions, right? It's not so easy. All right, let's leave Rivers United and see, because I remember the coach mentioned that they were not playing the league and everything. Now the league has started. 26th of November, that's when they will be playing their first game. They would have played some matches. Maybe they will be a top shape at that time. And we won't see what happened against NPFL when they play their own thing game November 26th. NPFL is going to get our attention now. We promised you yesterday that we'll be bringing you all the fixtures, match day 1 fixtures. It's already out. Despite we not really kind of enjoying the way the group is. I mean, when you have so many big teams in one group and lesser teams, so to speak, in the other one. Now, there you have it, match day 1 fixtures. November 15th, that's when it's starting. Niger Rattles will welcome Nasarawa Amazons in Abuja. You have Confluence Queens and Dana's Ladies, just newly promoted from championship side. They will be up against Confluence Queens in Lokoja. Abia Angels and Damawa Queens. Damawa Queens, of course, will be up against Abia Angels. And Heartland Queens and Royal Queens, they will be in action. That's the fixtures for match day 1. Flip us to the other side. You have Lakeside Queens, that's Remo Stars, that's the team, against Rivers Angels. That's baptism for them, hosting Rivers Angels in their opening game, just new to the top flight. Ekiti Queens also coming in, facing against champions Delta Queens, another baptism for them. Sunshine Queens also getting from the championship side, will be up against Bayelsa Queens. That's the Federation Cup champions. The new sides up against something really serious. And Edo Queens and FC Robo, I think I really want to see this game for Edo Queens. They will be hosting the Lagos team in Benin City. That's what match they won fixtures for you for Nigerian Women's Football League. We just can't wait for it to start, because when it starts, it's always very competitive. There's still time for us to do more build-up to the Nigerian League, but the Nigerian Women's Football League. But Austin, the top flight football is back. 16 teams from 14. We know the reason why some teams were dropped, from 16 to 14 at that time, because some clubs couldn't pay salaries and all, so they were, asked to please go. When you're ready, you come back. I believe some of the teams are here. They are ready. They will have a smooth season.
That's right, and the more the merrier. I like it. Some teams would have dropped at this stage again, but we're glad that 2 more will be coming, 60 teams. We talked about Group B yesterday, and we said that how did the draw produce that group, But I also love the fact that it will be competitive. And Nkechi Obi is talking about fewer weeks being played just so we do the right thing. She talked about intellectual property and a whole lot of things to, aid the development of women's football in Nigeria. And the league is the actual system, So, Cecilia, let the games begin. I cannot wait to see women's football. Last season got us talking. This season should even get us talking some more.
Yeah, talking about getting us talking. Let's take a listen to Shea Akim, who was there when they had their AGM. And also you have the chairman of Bayelsa Queens and FC Robo team manager talking ahead of the new season and the things they need to do to ensure that November 15th will be the real kickoff for the games.
Ensure that the referees are well remunerated at the right time. Ensure safety of the officials. Ensure that the teams are run professionally. And I have no doubt that the board will be run professionally. With those things, people will come to look for the women football. Not the other way around, I assure you. Because women football, as I said a few years ago, look where it is today. I said this how many years ago, that's the next big thing. And it's proven so. If you do the right things, women football is very appealing as something to sponsor, something to be a part of. The league really needs to get to the next level. The former board has done well, and I think that the new board has started with a new slate and to move to the next level, to the higher level. So I think that what needs to be done is what is being done already. I think that with this league getting to a higher pedestal, the Super Falcons will also get to a higher pedestal.
Our plan for the 2023-2024 season is to come out top at the Super 6. And to achieve this, we've worked so hard, recruited a good number of one of the best players, some of the best players we can get in female football in Nigeria. And the coaching crew are doing a good tactical job on them. And we have some friendlies that have been played so far. And we believe, by the grace of God, we will come out top.
The plan for the new season is to challenge for the trophies, then the continental tickets, which everybody is looking for, which I believe I have the team to represent the country. So I'm doing all things good to make sure that this season I have the ticket. What do you do to surpass those that left? Well, we want the women football to grow, grassroots, she-girl. So you have to bring another idea, which they did. And with this, it's a new structure. So we believe what we all need is to rally around it, support it, and make it a reality. In little time, we'll get there.
Yeah, that's key. I love that. I mean, little time, we will get there. And that's what we're anticipating when the league starts November 15th.
I think we should all be inspired with what Super Falcons did at the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think it's an example of what we can achieve if you actually put our minds and focus on the female football.
Easy.
It's beautiful because some of the players, they all came from the local league.
But I mean, I was going to talk about Sebastian Flourish when I heard the manager talking about it already. Sebastian Flourish, she has signed for Stade de Rennes, a French side. She's joined the likes of Tosin Dimei and Rafiat Imuron, signed a 2-year deal, and the club confirmed that today. So Sebastian Flourish will not be by himself when the season starts. So they're losing our players. Now, time to talk about the big one coming up this weekend. Now, these two teams, right? Arsenal were running away with the title, but somehow, because they are so invisible, Manchester City make them visible, and so the title got away from them. Man City had to take it to a historic treble. Saturday's fixtures: Luton Town and Tottenham, Burnley and Chelsea, Everton and Bournemouth. These are the games for Saturdays. Let's continue with what we have. We have Fulham and Sheffield, Manchester United and Brentford. You have Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest to also be in action on Saturday. Now, other games also for this weekend, and of course, move to Sunday. Brighton and Liverpool will be in action. West Ham and Newcastle, Wolves and Aston Villa, shocking Man City, see if they can continue with that. Arsenal and, of course, Manchester City, the game for Sunday. And that's what we're waiting. Austin, yeah, your thought on this one before we wrap this up?
I know, Cecilia, Super Sunday is upon us. Yes. I cannot believe it. Week 8 already. In the English Premier League. So Arsenal, this is going to be a big test for them. But Mikel Arteta has said that Busayo Saka is in contention to feature in that game. They need him. Guess what? There's an interesting statistic. Saka, who is just 22, has played in each of Arsenal's past 87 league games. Now, that's a record, a club record streak in the Premier League. He's just 22, and he has featured in the last 87 league games. They need him. I hope he plays that one also. And Arsenal, Manchester City knows how to beat them, but this is a good time to play Manchester City. So maybe Arsenal might just do something. Remember, they won the Community Shield. Let's wait and see what they can do on Super Sunday. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, Austin. Yeah, I mean, just a quick one before we wrap this up. I mean, Pep Guardiola mentioned that Arsenal, of course, they are title contenders again this season because of the way they started.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, but we all know that how it's going to end. So we've seen that in a couple of years. So it's as if just like what Premier League we were saying before, it's becoming a one-man show in EPL. So.
Yeah, but they beat Man City to win Community Shield. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night rest.